Police discovered Veronica behind the hotel's front desk, suffering from a fatal gunshot wound to the head.
Welcome to CSL TV, and I just hope you guys are having a beautiful, blessed day. Now, if you're new to the channel, this is just a review, a reaction, as well as an informational channel. Hopefully the informational part help you and someone out, and we pretty much just gonna watch some videos and talk about what goes on in the world. And y'all already know a lot of crazy shit goes on in the world that we all should be informed about, because we be like, oh man, when this happened, when that happened, and next thing you know, boom, some crazy stuff that happened. But I don't like making my intros too long. I just like getting straight to the business. So as always, you guys have a beautiful, blessed day. Let's get it.
This story is tragic. This is Veronica Crane, a 19-year-old who worked at a Comfort Inn in Canton, Michigan. She apparently just wanted to reclaim her life and break up with her boyfriend, but that decision ultimately led to her untimely death. On the evening of February 16, police discovered Veronica behind the hotel's front desk, suffering from a fatal gunshot wound to the head. The suspect, 23-year-old Joseph Michael Slocum Jr., Veronica's ex-boyfriend, allegedly entered the hotel, committed the heinous act, and then fled the scene. Shortly after, he was found lying in the road, injured from a car accident in a separate location. This is sadly a textbook example of the most dangerous time for a domestic violence victim, when they're trying to leave. Veronica's mother, Kimberly Crane, is crushed, mourning her daughter as her first love, her best friend, and her guardian angel. Slocum faces charges of premeditated first-degree murder and possession of a firearm. He's pleading not guilty. Critics point out that domestic violence is a reflection of broader systemic issues, including gender inequality and a lack of supportive resources for those trying to escape abusive relationships. This tragedy is a reminder of the critical need for comprehensive support systems and education to prevent domestic violence and protect those vulnerable to it.
My condolences goes out to the family, because losing someone through domestic violence isn't cool at all. I know exactly how that shit feel, but I haven't lost a daughter or anything like that to domestic violence, just a sister. So anybody that's going through it, I'm there for you. I know how that shit feel. We never see these signs or want this type of thing to happen to anybody we love, as well as in this type of stuff happen to anybody. Because if you don't want to be with somebody, you shouldn't have to go to these type of measures just because you don't want them to be with somebody else. And that's just not how the world works. But in a world that's messed up, we just have to start helping each other out the best way we can. And the good people need to be helping the good people, trying to influence the bad people to be better. But some people are so far gone that they really can't be helped. Again, my condolences goes out to this, family, just because this is real messed up to lose someone to domestic violence instead of natural causes, and she was doing the right thing.
An eerie text would link a stranger to Kenya's disappearance, but solving her case would result in a shocking turn of events. 19-year-old Kenya Monhey grew up in Aurora, Colorado.
And we about to get into a crazy, crazy story of a 19-year-old. Apparently she was drunk, got involved with some messed up people. So we about to see exactly what happened, and I'm only showing you guys this just so y'all can educate, these young folks or young people, whoever, that need some guidance or just a proper talk on why they shouldn't do crazy stuff, and be careful who you hang around type. This is crazy, but as always, y'all stay blessed. Let's get it.
She attended Cherry Creek High School, and when she graduated, she wanted to pursue a career in broadcasting. She was a model big sister and beloved by her family and friends. But like a lot of teenagers, she hid some things from her parents. Kenya and her friends had fake IDs and would frequent 21 and up clubs in the Denver area. On the night of April 1st, 2011, Kenya and a group of friends went out to 24K nightclub in the Lodo neighborhood. But at around 12:30 a.m., Kenya got kicked out for being too intoxicated. Later that day, Kenya's friends dropped off her belongings to Kenya's dad, Tony, which included a cell phone. Her friends recount the night, and they agreed that they all had about the same to drink, so they didn't understand how Kenya became so intoxicated that she had to be kicked out of the club. And apparently, Kenya wasn't alone. Friends said she was with a guy who wasn't her boyfriend, and they had been doing some inappropriate things on the dance floor. As the day goes on, there's still no word from Kenya. Her dad finally goes through her belongings, and when he does, he finds a weird text message on her phone. It read, Tony calls and calls and calls this person named Travis. Nearly 48 hours later, Travis finally calls back. Tony asks Travis what happened. Travis claims he picked up Kenya in front of the loft condos, wanting to help her because she seemed intoxicated. CCTV proves this, but Tony says that this is so out of character for Kenya, and he believes she was drugged. Travis says that Kenya wanted him to drive her to the club, but when they arrived, it was closed. So he then offered to drive her home. But on the way, they stopped at a gas station because Travis claims Kenya wanted cigarettes. The gas station was also closed. Travis says Kenya got out of the van and bummed a cigarette off of someone. Then Kenya left with a man named Dan, so he left. Tony asked Travis to meet. Tony is willing to meet at the gas station where he claims he left Kenya. Tony's wife was nervous about the meetup and calls police. So Tony, Travis, and Denver PD all...
So y'all think Travis has something to do with what happened to her? I just know the dad got involved, and yeah, they right by bringing in the police because you never know what could happen. But at the same time, this is why you don't do things you're not supposed to do. 19-year-old with a 21-year-old ID. Yeah, they're fake. You out here drinking and partying. Probably don't know much of, of how to be careful of all these drugs and different things that people slip in your drink. And you're 19, so it's like, even if you was 21, 30, 40, the main thing is you can never stop learning. You can always get that knowledge. It's just too much out there.
Show up to the Conco gas station. Police talk with Travis and notice a strong smell of bleach in Travis's van, and note that it's eerily clean. Police take Travis's statement at the scene. Travis said he ended up at home with his girlfriend the night Kenya went missing, and Travis is free to leave. Now, the search for Kenya heightens at this point. Denver PD find the guy Kenya was kicked out of 24K with. His questions and CCTV footage shows them together, but he tells them she left just minutes after they arrived in his loft, although he asked her to stay, and the footage confirms his alibi. Then, on April 5th, CCTV footage is discovered that may prove Travis had more to do with Kenya's disappearance than he let on. Travis makes homemade granola bars, and the manager of the bakery he works out of noticed Travis doing some unusual things at the bakery, so she hands over the footage to Denver PD. He's seen pushing a duct tape cooler in a freezer at the bakery while employees are there. And as coworkers enter the cooler throughout the day, Travis follows them in every single time. When investigators go to look for the cooler, it's gone. They do find a barrel outside that has fresh charring from a fire, but there's no DNA. Travis is taken in and questioned, but investigators couldn't collect enough evidence to hold him, so Travis is free to leave again. He then goes on to do an interview with a local news station to prove his innocence, and for more than 10 minutes he denies any involvement with Kenya's disappearance.
Did you kidnap her?
No.
Did you sexually assault her?
I did not.
Struggling to find substantial evidence to pin Travis to Kenya's disappearance, investigators ask Travis to come in for a lie detector test, but Travis attempts to flee to Mexico, luckily nabbed in Austin, Texas. From there, he's extradited back to Colorado on a...
So y'all think Travis has something to do with what happened to her? I just know the dad got involved, and yeah, they right by bringing in the police because you never know what could happen. But at the same time, this is why you don't do things you're not supposed to do. 19-year-old with a 21-year-old ID. Yeah, they're fake. You out here drinking and partying. Probably don't know much of, of how to be careful of all these drugs and different things that people slip in your drink. And you're 19, so it's like, even if you was 21, 30, 40, the main thing is you can never stop learning. You can always get that knowledge. It's just too much out there.
Search warrant, but sadly, this turns up nothing. He's let go yet again, and shortly after moves to Fort Collins.
I believe Travis Ford is a serial killer, yes.
Be sure to tune in to part 2.
So it's definitely gonna be a part 2. Travis is doing a lot of crazy stuff that make you wonder if he really was involved in what was going on. At the same time, you up here fleeing to Mexico and all this extra stuff, like you had something to do with it, that weird cooler that's in, and you up here acting all suspicious, following people when they go in there because you don't want them to see what you have in that cooler. Now, when she posts part 2, y'all already know I'm gonna be all over it because I want to know who the heck killed this innocent girl that was just trying to go out and have a good time with her friends and maybe have a pleasure moment at the end. But at the end of it, she didn't have that. So hopefully part 2 we get more of what's going on. And I don't know this person's content that we watching and reviewing. I just know it says missing. But as always, you guys stay blessed. And let's see what else we can see what's out here.